Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play, and I hope you like what you see, and I'd love to know more about what you're stitching. And if you're a returning stitching friend, as always, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you taking the time, and I love to know what you're stitching. It is so fun to see all the different and hear about all the different projects that we just love in this cross-stitching world. So fun. Happy Friday. It's always Friday when I film mostly, but happy Friday. It is the eve of Memorial Day weekend, basically the start of it. I think Mo can end the day at noon today, so yay. And then we can get going into a holiday weekend. And so if you are in the US, exciting. Hopefully, maybe you have a little bit of extra time off this weekend as well. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, and it is progressively getting darker. I think we've been having thunderstorms this morning. It would like spit a little rain and then just stop, rolls of thunder, then rain again, and the clouds have gotten dark. So I think it's kind of moved out a little bit. So I don't think you will hear the thunder, but really, I mean, it wouldn't be that loud. I mean, if it was right overhead, I'd probably jump anyway and you'd know what's happening. So I decided not to put the overhead lights on because I think there's still enough natural light even with the clouds that I think everything will look good with that. Alrighty, so I have one full finish. I was hoping to get a scrapbook page, but I did not do that this week. Yes, it's Cinnamon Stars. I want a scrapbook. So hopefully sometime this week I can try to get that done. I pulled out Betsy's Autumn so I can try to coordinate the two pieces. And but I did get an ornament stitched or finished for summer. So I think I'm way behind on my 55 for my 55 birthday year this year. Well, I'm not doing it by October. It would have to be sometime 55 full finishes by the end of this year. And if I look at my book, today's just makes 16. So we have a ways to go yet, but that's okay. Let me show it to you right away. You saw this recently. I stitched this both as a trading card, which I have not finished yet, and as a little ornament. So this was stitched on an 18 count, whereas the trading card I think is stitched on a 20 count. This is from Helen D, and I love it. I did use, I think I used Dying for cross stitch. I used one of her blue cottons, variegated, and then I used, I think it's from Stitchy Stuff, a pink variegated, and then for the little purpley part, I just used, because I mean, that's not enough in my, if I'm going to use it, I want to use it in a little bit bigger spot, so I just used the DMC there. And I was going back and forth with how I wanted to finish it, and I just decided, you know what, I have this kind of bright pink felt. And so I layered, and when I do the felt, now this felt is actually, this is from Paper Tray Ink, and their felt is pretty thick. So it could stand on its own, but I actually have been taking to layering the felt on just a backing of comic book board. And then I just put like the very thin, say Michael's felt on the back. I'm not gonna waste the more expensive felt for the backing. And just a little purple ribbon. So this can hang up now on my little hooks underneath my hanging shelves. So yay! I've got something else to show you today that hopefully will be stitched finished next week, and maybe if I have the right felt, a full finish, and you'll get to see another kind of ornament that'll be hung up over there. All right, let me see. I have 2 TV tray tables, and they're the good size, and I still don't have enough room. So that was my one full finish. Yay! Alrighty. Oh, this is the next one. I'm looking at my notes and I'm jumping ahead. I'm thinking, oh, I need to tell you something, but I haven't shown you the piece yet. I did 12 projects this week, and I have 1 start, 1 finish, and 1 almost finish. I ran out of time, so you'll see that in a bit. So let's start off first. This is Arabesque from Hicks Creates. This was my all-time favorite from market this year. I saw this, the design and the color and just everything about it was my all-time favorite. So I knew I was going to get this from market. I got a few things. I didn't go crazy. I'm learning my lessons from year to year, but this one was a must. And Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, reached out to me because she had it too, and she said, "You want to start it together?" And I said, "Absolutely." So Beth and then Paula from Stitching in High Heels, and I will list both. Let me write down Beth and Paula. I'll list them in the description notes below. And they are both doing it different ways than me. So that's what's so fun about this one. It is completely customizable. I am doing it monochromatic. Beth is doing a different color. I believe she's doing it monochromatic. She just came out with a video and I just started it, and then Mo came upstairs. So I had to shut it off. And it's her sampler May. So if you want to see some beautiful pieces, I'm sure, I can't wait to watch it. And then Paula is doing it with more than one color, not monochromatic. And then if you are doing it in different ways too, I would love to know. But here's mine. I kept my fabric neutral because I really wanted the floss, the color, to be what you would notice more than the background. You know, I love my bright fabrics, but I use them purposely when I do use them. This is an 18 count. It didn't have a name on it, so I don't know who it's from and what the color is. Sadly, because it is kind of it's a nice neutral for certain things. Now, I actually stitched on this so I told you before last week's video, the day before that, last Thursday, was Mo's colonoscopy, and I had to sit and sit and sit and wait. And so I did bring this as one of my pieces, and I got a good chunk of stitching in because it's beautiful being monochromatic. So let me show you. I am using, and this is, I have a hank of this too, but I'm using the skeins first, I guess. I don't know. This is Elvin Wine from Stitchy Stuff. That's the tag, if you see Stitchy Stuff. And they are on Etsy. I'm really enjoying working with her flosses quite a bit. So there are a few counting errors, but you know, sometimes that happens, and it's fine. I'm able to make everything work okay. And you will never know. Well, one part I did have to pull out because I had taken this way too far down, and that would have messed that up. But then I did have other mistakes, and you'd never be able to tell. So I'm not telling you where they are. I really enjoy this piece. It's such a fun one. I really like Jan Hicks. She is just a joy to stitch. And I could see bringing this one out quite often because I love the color, and I do like the monochromatic part of it. If you said to me for a year, all you could stitch was monochromatic, I'd be okay with that because I do like it quite a bit. I'd miss the other stuff, but there's something so relaxing about monochromatic, and it just takes the whole stress relief aspect of stitching to a whole nother level for me. All right, next one is a digital, and it is Jan Hicks Morning because it is another Jan Hicks. You're going to be proud of me if I can find where it is. It's done on a different color, right? No, actually it's not. I think I took, oh, it's way up top here because it's one of my older pieces. I took inspiration from Jan's piece on this one for her fabric. So this is called The Earth Laughs, and again, it's from Hicks Creates. In person, I mean, it's pretty here, but in person, it's just so lovely. It's charted in both DMC and Cosmo, and at the time I said, oh, you know, what the heck, I'm going to try the Cosmo. And originally, I had visualized this being on the front cover of a scrapbook, but with the scrapbooks I'm using now, that wouldn't work. Oh, here comes the rain. And so at the time, I needed to make it 20 count. So this is my very first jump into 20 count Aida, and it's 20 count ice blue from To Die For Fabrics. And because it was 20 count, I said I would try the one strand. And it's well documented at this point if you've watched me. I'm struggling with the one strand with the Cosmo. I don't have problems with one strand really with Floss, Sulky, none at all. I don't know if I've done any of the variegated with one strand. I think that's all been two. And I am doing my Carolyn Manning with DMCs. And it's funny, certain colors fray more than others. So I'm learning. So what I've done with the Cosmo is I make it really super, super short. I mean like super short. And that way it doesn't have a chance to fray. So, you know, hey, I'm learning. And I just love this piece so much that I am motivated to stitch it, even though I may not love the fibers I chose for it. This was a good portion of this flower needed to be done. Some of the yellow as well as all of that, the butterfly. I finished up some greenery here. And then I also I did some more over here. So I did jump all over the place. I think one of these times I want to come and work on the border. It's a repetitive, nice, easy, like 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, and just keep going back and forth. So, and because I have some here, I am not one, it would be very rare. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but it'll be very rare for me to do an entire border and then stitch inside. I'd be more apt to do the inside and then stitch the border, because I count the border, I confirm I'm doing everything right by the stuff inside. So generally, a lot of times I start with a border, put something inside, work my way that way, and then continue with borders. So as you can see, I had worked down here, so I have the border all the way down on this edge. And so now I have quite a bit here. I can do the same thing. I think, what's down at that bottom corner? Oh, it's repetitive of these flowers. So you'll have, over here you have a butterfly, and then those flowers again, underneath the words. So it's coming along, and I have to say, this time around I did enjoy it more, and I think that was because I did use the smaller lengths. So I don't know, I don't remember what my goal was when I did my Whip Parade in January. I don't remember, or the end of the year, whenever it was. I put goals for all of my pieces. Some of them were more realistic than others, kind of thing. And I don't think if this was a finish was a goal, because I knew I was struggling. I'm not going to say it's out of the realm of possibility, though, especially now that I've kind of corralled the floss a little bit more and learned a little bit more about it. Now, this past week, I have my focus for the month full coverage. The piece I pulled out instead to try to get 1,000 stitches in is mini until the end. And that is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, who currently has a 50% off sale if you do stitch Heaven and Earth Designs, I think to the 27th. So it's kind of like a Memorial Day sale. And it is artwork by Rose Kahn. It is retired through Heaven and Earth. I'm hoping to see Rose Kahn on other sites. I know Sunflower Stitches has a couple of Rose Kahn, and in fact, I'm going to be starting one, I believe in June, a full coverage. But I would really love to see, I don't know if anybody else has adapted. So yes, somebody has, right? The dragon one. The dragon's writing. Is that pain-free? So she's starting to get licensed in other places, and she has beautiful work. So I would really love to see more of it charted in places. But here we go. I know it doesn't look like much, but I did get 1,162 stitches in the time frame I worked on it this week. So yay. 18 count white aida, 2 strands over 1, full cross. And let's see, you can see here a big chunk over here. I was really hoping to get into some more colors, because I look at what I have pulled. I think I've pulled a good portion of the DMC for this. As you can tell, I don't work from just one master list. This is my DMC. If I can, I usually try to have at least 2, so at any time I can pull. So when I do my full coverages, I don't pull them all generally at once. I don't chart it all the way up. So if I start in a certain corner, I'll pull those flosses. And then as I need more, I'll bring them into the piece. With Pattern Keeper now, once I know when I get to the point where I can zero out stuff, it will go immediately back in here. I don't need to keep it with the project. So that's how I do my DMCs when it comes to full coverage. I'm almost sure I also did here. I did a whole bunch of different places. I can almost guarantee you I did left, right, and middle kind of thing. Again, still filling in different confetti-like pieces. So I'm doing pretty good. There's not a ton of confetti, especially in this corner now. And so it's working well. And you know how much I love blues, so that's not a problem. But this one will go away now. And I was thinking for next week's like full coverage extra, besides my focus one, I was thinking I'd pull out my Luca S. Now my Luca S is paper now, because it was a kit. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think there's as much confetti, so it might be a little bit easier. And I mean, I do a lot of my other pieces reading them paper, so it's not like I don't read the paper patterns. Should be okay, but it'll definitely be slower. I don't know. I mean, I think I was able to put in 6 days those 1,100 stitches on that, because it just would flow. I'd take that one color and just go wherever. It's going to be a little bit slower with the Luca S, but I don't know if I've pulled that out since I started it. I don't think I have it all. So it really does need some attention. Minnie unto end has already seen work twice this year, so I need to give some of those other ones some loving. Alrighty, now my start. As you know, I have been participating in the Manning May Sal hashtag, and it is run by Cam the Stitcher, Marjorie Maid, the Seattle Stitcher, and the Museum Stitcher. There we go. I'm sure that face I made just was lovely. That would be my thumbnail, I can guarantee it. And so I'm doing 3 out of the 5 this month. I think that's it. I thought at one point I might start all 5 that I'd like to. But as fun as these are, they're very repetitive, right? And so I want to make sure I get those 3 done before Christmas. What I'm doing is I'm taking these from the Shooting Star collection and I'm matching to birthstones. And then I'm going to make ornaments out of them and they'll be Christmas gifts. And this time around, and I'm almost sure, if I look at them, I'm almost sure I'm stitching the minis. I'm almost sure that's the one. I mean, you look at these and it takes me ages to decide which one I'm going to stitch, because they're all cool in their own different ways. But I believe in the end, this is the one I picked. Now, because of the size, I think they're 80 by 80s. I went with a 20 count aida because I want to make them not humongous for ornaments, right? I mean, 20 count, they're going to be 4 by 4. And I'm hoping not to have a border, really. What I would really like to do, and this is my little start, and I'll tell you why. Big snafu. I could have had twice as much done. I'm hoping that I'd like to layer up some batting underneath the piece and then layer it over, comic book board or something, because I don't know how to do pillow finishes. And so, but they'd be puffy and round and kind of be, the front would be like, it'd be like half a pillow kind of thing, and then make them as ornaments, because I'd like them to puff out a little bit. We'll see if that works when the finishing comes, but if I all of a sudden put out frantic help signals on my community tab and my Facebook page, you'll know I'm having trouble. So anyway, 20 count stone fiber on a whim. All of the 3 that I'm working on, all the same. I chose a gray rather than the white because I thought it might, it's not going to show as much in the back, right? Because the white could be a little bit stark. Maybe not with the opal one, which is my birthstone. But I still will use the gray, I think, with the opal. But I'm stitching these with 1 strand. The first one I started, I tried 2 strands, wasn't loving it. So I said, no, I'll do 1 strand. So, okay, that's for the first 2, no problem. So here I was, I went and I started this, and I did this big blue, that's 1 color, that blue blob there, and I did it 2 strands, not even thinking. It wasn't ridiculously tight. I didn't notice it till I'd finished. And I said, well, that's not bad. Maybe this one's in 2 strands, and I just write myself a little note. Do you know what I mean? And then I stitched almost 200 stitches with the double strands because, I don't know when to quit sometimes. And I didn't like it. In fact, I think I have it. I started to rip it out, and then I got tired of ripping. And so I said, you know what? That's going to stay there for now in that corner. And I'm going to restart it in a different corner because I have 2 pieces of the fabric for this stitch along, because I'm with the 5. I didn't know. I'm not cutting until I have to. So this is what I ended up with. I ended up doing another 200 stitches, and some of the stitches you can't see very well because they are currently blending in with the gray, but they'll be fine once everything is stitched. And I did go back to the one strand, and I like the one strand better. I mean, it's still got decent coverage. Some of the other colors were puffing up more. It was that blue. That blue looked fine, but some of the lighter colors didn't look great. So this is what I have instead. So I ended up stitching on all of them this week because I thought I'd give some love to some of the other ones. So we have, oops, why won't my iPad? There we go. We have Peridot. So this is the set you get when you do Peridot. I want to say all May, Carolyn Manning is having a sale. So if you are interested in any Carolyn Mannings, you have another week. So we have one more week of the month to go. That's the Peridot. So that got some more. This one is, actually I was going to say if that one was the farthest along, but no. It's close. It's close to the emerald, but so that's the Peridot. And show you the original for the emerald. And I do not know, this is the original piece with the emerald. You get the one big one and you get the 4 small. Really a great deal. Here's the emerald. Oh, and I did write in some cases little notes so I know what the top is. And again, you might not be able to see a few of them because the colors kind of blend in, but it's gonna look great when it's done. I can't wait. I don't know my percentages on any of these. I didn't look. I did put them in Pattern Keeper. I was able to figure out the whole delete all the other patterns and just keep the one you wanted. Thank you for all the help I had received. Because somebody had to walk me through that. And so I do have them in Pattern Keeper. I mean, they could be done without, I think, pretty, easily enough, but it's been nice to just have them in there. So yeah, so those are the 3. They are all, and I love this. I was gifted this wonderful bag. See, look, I have my Ziploc bags in the actual real fancy bag. I had been gifted this bag and it's perfect. So I'm going to keep all of them in here and just in one spot. And because I'm doing them on Pattern Keeper, I don't need to have any paper patterns or anything in here. So yeah, I don't know what my routine will be with these. I have to figure that out. I'm not sure. I think, I don't know. I have to figure out how much time we have until Christmas and then maybe do some focuses on a 2-week period and rotate kind of thing through them and see if that would work. So have you found a good, if you've stitched the Carolyn Manning ones, those types especially, do you find a good rotation that works with those? I would love to know. I think that's what I might do, but I'm not 100% sure. All I know is they need to be done by Christmas. Yeah, okay. Now I am zipping along because that was 3 out of my 12 pieces right there. So we might get done. Oh, actually, I was going to say before massive thunderstorms, but it does look a little lighter. It's still cloudy, but the clouds don't look quite so gray. This is my finish, but I can't show you. Garden of Zig by Ink Circles. This was a super fun secret stitch that was created by the Hathaway Stitchers, Erin and Amity. And I'm going to write down Hathaway so I know to link them. They had said basically, this is the pattern, choose your own fabrics, choose your own flosses, and don't show anybody. And we had until May 31st to get it done. And then there would be a big reveal. Now, May 3rd, and I got it done this week. I can't wait to show you. I like it. It's obviously not going to be everybody's style, but that's the thing. You never know, right? Everybody's going to be a little different. And I'm happy with how mine turned out. I think it would be fun to be in the scrapbook. And then on the back, talk about the story of how this piece came about. I thought that would be a lot of fun. So that's the thing. You can use your scrapbooks as journals. And at some point, a generation 2, 3 beyond, people not only have your beautiful work, but they also have your writing and your words and all of that as well. which I think is kind of neat. But we had just kind of a stitchy Zoom with the Garden of Zig group, and they were talking about what the reveal would be. And I think what we're going to do is on June 1st, there's going to be a Zoom kind of reveal for everybody who's been stitching this. And then Hathaway Stitchers, Erin and Amity, are going to, I think they might film some of it or show pictures and stuff and release something. So I'm thinking that the following video after that, so hopefully 2 weeks from now, so in case you miss or whatever, or if you're way behind on your YouTube watching, Flosstube watching like I am, I scroll down and I'm 20 videos in, and it was a video released 2 days ago, and I'm thinking to myself, how is that possible? So as I'm watching things that are 11 days ago, somebody will say, oh, it's May 1st or something. I'm thinking to myself, okay, time has just lost it. But I will show you on my video when I am allowed. I am super excited about that. I put it somewhere. I didn't know what to do with it now that I'm finished. I put it somewhere that hopefully I won't forget. I don't think it's safe enough that I will forget where it is. So I think we're all right with that. But there will be a reveal, something, I believe, from the Hathaway Stitchers. And then hopefully in 2 weeks' time, I can show you. I'm not sure how long it would take for them to show their reveal. We're all still working this stuff out. So, it's coming. Alrighty. Next, I pulled out May's Lily of the Valley from Cottage Garden Samplings. And if you've been around, you know I am stitching on these. I started the majority of them last year, and I started them within the month that they were. And I didn't force myself to have a goal of finishing them all in the month this year. And I'm really glad I didn't put that pressure on myself. I did finish January, February, March, but come April, I started to falter a little bit. And let me show you, this is May. This time around, I stitched all the words. I think that's all I did, but that was a good amount. I changed the Z, so it was it was funny because I was getting to the point where I was here, and I was thinking, why is that S backwards? Because I wasn't really paying attention to what the S backwards. Hopefully I said that right. I wasn't paying attention to the word, so I wasn't thinking that's a Z and it's spelled right. I was thinking that's an S. Maybe, these letters are quirky, and I was thinking, nah, I'll just do it the right way. Thank goodness. It came to me that was actually supposed to be a Z. It kind of looks like a 2. I'm not going to lie that what I made the difference there, but it's closer to a Z, I felt, than what would have been a backwards S, and that would have bugged me. So I did do that. And then you can see here, with the words, all of these, she charts them with 2 different colors. And I'm trying to think, that's a Gentle Arts. And what's the other one? Yeah, they're both Gentle Arts, but they're 2 different colors. And she gives DMC alternatives, which I'm using in all cases so far on this one. I don't think I've changed anything. If I did, I'll check my notes. I did, the darker color is less in there, it's more of the lighter. And I tried it with the DMC, and I mean, it's purple, I like it, but I just wasn't loving it. So I said, no, I pulled out whatever was stitched in that darker color, and I went completely just the one, which is fine because that purple, that's the only place you're going to get it. So I took out an extra color that didn't need to be there anyway. It wouldn't have really added anything to it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't have a ton, but I don't know about you, and I've talked about this before because this happened to me when I was stitching and haven't quite finished. I have 2 left, the cottages, the monthly cottages from Country Cottage Words. A monthly repetitive series, I'm finding really, really difficult to stay with it within that year kind of thing. And I mean, because I started those cottages years ago, and like I said, I still have 2 left to do. All the ones I've stitched are probably fully finished, but 2 are not stitched. And with this, I was thinking, okay, it's different, you know, because it's different flowers and different colors, but it is essentially the same pattern. You know, you have your border, you have your words, you have your flower, and maybe, you know, some other little pieces. So it is essentially the same thing month after month. And I am finding that it's slightly repetitive for me, and I'm kind of working on it almost every other week, not every week of the month. So it's not going to get finished that way, right? I would like to, at least, we have one more week of the month. So I'd like to, maybe I try to get everything but this flower done. And so the next time, whether I pick it up for challenges, because it could come out again this year. It's not like I'm done with it, you'll never see it again. It could come out with challenges or something like that. But I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to get these finished in the month anymore, because I just was finding it was just, I was losing steam and I was losing pleasure, and I really do like these stitches. This is an 18 count Nantucket Sky by Fabrics by Stephanie. You're going to see, you're going to see Nantucket Sky. Well, you already saw it here because I'm stitched it with this, and you're going to see it here and then 2 more times. If I had to say my kind of blue neutral that is absolutely my favorite is Nantucket Sky by Stephanie. It just goes with so many things. So there's that. Yes, plan, try to pull that out a little bit this week. Try to get, say, 300 stitches into it, just to get that a little bit farther, or maybe that section, just so I can feel like I've kind of completed something, and then I would only have one small area left. I tried to get this one finished, but it didn't happen. I'm very, very close, you're gonna see. This is, I am doing, let me cover up summer for a second. I'm doing Spring Blessings, and it is a part of a 2-part series, Seasons Blessings 2 by Lila Studio. I've done the 3 other seasons. This is it. And I'm so close, so close. Here it is. The only thing I have left is to stitch the word blessings, and you know how words go. They're pretty quick. I'll do another check to make sure I have every leaf and every center of the flower done. I'm almost sure I do, though. I've been stitching this. I've been using this as my 100 stitches a day. I do the full coverage. I try to do an average of 100 stitches a day, and then I pick another piece and try to do 100 stitches a day. And this has been the one, because I've been trying to get it close to a finish. Yesterday I pushed through. I brought it with me when I went to my little neighborhood kind of stitchy. I think there was 5 of us there, and it's called needlework group. One person was doing a kind of a needle point. I was cross stitching. 2 of us were cross stitching. Somebody else was crocheting, and then another woman had kind of one of those loom things, and she was doing that. So we do everything. There's not any specific type of medium to work in. But yeah, I brought this yesterday really hoping to get it done, and it didn't happen. But I did everything else, and I said, well, that'll be fine. This is also 18 count Nantucket Sky by Fabrics by Stephanie. And these are beautiful, obviously, because I wouldn't have chosen them otherwise. But I just love, see how it just brightens them up a little bit? And I did the summer also in the Nantucket Sky, and I just love it. This one, okay, obviously the goal, get that finished. Hopefully by today I'll have this one finished if I do my 100 stitches a day. Sometimes Fridays it's dicey because I lose a good portion of the day filming and such from stitching. I've been, I had mentioned felt, one more piece. This is the piece I was talking about when I said felt background. What I've done with all the other 3 of them is basically I just do a fairly tight, I show a little bit of the outer color border around the piece, and then I layer it on it's a rectangle of felt, of matching felt somehow or other. The question is whether or not I have something to match this. I will either pick out something along the reds. I think I'd like that better than the blue, but I will look to see what I have with those 2. Those are my 2 I think I'm looking at. If I don't, I want to get some, because I don't want to just slap anything on if it clashes a bit. So you will definitely see this as a stitched finish next week, maybe a full finish, because it's not spring yet. And this, it's pretty, right? I mean, it's nice bright flowers with the bird and the basket. And I don't necessarily think I'm looking at I don't have a ton of summer stuff to hang up anyway. And right now I have the summer bird up there with it. So I might put those side by side kind of thing, or somewhere along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 hooks underneath each of my my shelvings. My other shelf though has all of my Irish stuff. I've kept that up all year round, kind of my St. Patrick's Irish stuff. We'll see. As I get more of these, I might have to take that down a little bit. Alrighty. So that is my almost so close to a finish, but not quite a finish. What is next? This is my monthly full coverage. So you've seen it if you've been with me all month. This is called Bottled Beauty. It is charted by Cross Stitch for Everyone, and the artwork is by Fun Digital. So that's what it'll look like. And I am up in the top corners. Here we go. It's funny, kind of along the same lines as Many Until the End. This is a few more colors, but obviously it's the same kind of color scheme right now. It's all the same. I can't wait to bring in those blues with the bottle and the starfish. Again, 18 count, white Aida, 2 strands over 1, full cross. And I know I did quite a bit of fill-in of confetti over here. So this was all, you know, different colors. I filled all that in. I came over here. I added a bit over here. So again, since you've last seen it, the only thing I haven't really jumped on is here. I could go down this side. I'm kind of surprised I haven't, because you know how I like to do my 3 corners. But I'm really feeling the whole continue working on this. So this might be one where I'll get more of the top filled in and then work my way down with it. We'll see. I have 1 more week to go. I haven't checked my numbers to see how I am. Oh, excuse me for a minute here. It's muggy. And of course, I feel the heat more right now anyway, so it's very muggy. Oh, that felt good, actually. I haven't counted my numbers. I have no idea whether or not I'm on track for, if I do 1,000 a day, but not 1,000. Could you imagine 1,000 a day? 100 a day, I should get 3,000, you know, plus-ish kind of thing for the piece. So that would be kind of cool if I could do that. All right, we have only 2 more to go. I am zipping today. I have big plans for next week, though, so buckle up and be ready next week. Talk to me, Goose. This is from Dirty Annie's. Such a great story in the comments last week. One of you, your neighbor, did some of the flying scenes on some of the jets, the fighter jets, which is really, really cool. That's really neat, actually. But anyway, this is the piece I stitched on when I did the Zoom with the Garden of Zig group. I figured it would be nice and easy because I could chat. I did do the words. I worked on the words first. And then, you know, last time I did, what am I doing up here? I did the outlines of the glasses. So then I worked on the glass. And I have to say, I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it is a lot of stitches. I think I got something like 500 stitches in during the Zoom. I was zooming along. So yeah, words. Talk to me, Goose. I think I did pretty good with the counting. I mean, it's a pretty easy kind of straight line wording, and there's not a lot of counting with it. This is 18 count Sensitive Sylvie by Those Missing Stitches. Look at how beautiful this fabric is. Lynn, you do just a fabulous job hand dyeing. I love your work. And then, so once I got that done, you know, I said, to do this, I'd have to do some counting, right? But I purposely did the outlines of those. I said, well, let's fill in. And I got I'd say 97% of it filled in. After I got off the Zoom, I did the last little bit. So I am super proud of that. So this will be, I'll save this for another Zoom. Way more stitches than you think there are. And then it's funny because one side I can flip over and I don't have to count. It can be from, but the other side, I have to figure out if I do on this side from Goose, I don't have to count. Over here, I might flip it over. I don't know what I'll do. And then obviously the little plain is super easy. There's not much stitches to that at all. So this one will most definitely, this would be a good Zoom piece. I'd like to jump on. If you watch Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, she has a Facebook group, excuse me, Crafts and Books is what it's called. And she has the Zoom room open quite often. And it's been a few weeks now since I've jumped on. I'm kind of, it's just the way the schedule works, or some days I've just had a tough day and I kind of just retreat, you know, into myself type of thing. And, but I miss it. So hopefully I can get back to, they're very friendly. If you've never tried Beth's Zooms and you want to try a Zoom, she's very nice, and it would be a good place for you to try. But hopefully I can get back in soon. I did, last year I did host Zooms, and you'll notice this year I didn't. And the start of the year, I think I just had a lot going, and, you know, I like to schedule it ahead of time. And so I was hoping to do some. Last year I did a whole weekend during StitchCon for all of us who are kind of home and not participating in the big retreat. Well, I changed laptops because my other one died, and I cannot find my Zoom password. I have no idea. So I can jump onto people's Zooms without my password, but I can't create a Zoom room without my password. So I have to kind of, I have no idea why it's not written down. I mean, I don't think I would have relied on just my laptop remembering it. So I have to do some deep dive in finding that. Hopefully, if I can, I would like to do Zooms again, because I thought it was so much fun. I really enjoyed stitching with all of you. The one thing I think, though, it's a lot for me to host myself. So I think I would need to kind of ask around and see if any of you would be willing to help me when I'm hosting Zooms, so that it's just not all on me. Especially that weekend last year. I think we had, what did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 Zooms. And I mean, they were 2 hours a pop, but still, I was exhausted by the end of the weekend. There's a stress to hosting that kind of ups the level a little bit sometimes. But stay tuned. Hopefully there might be some in the future. Maybe I can work on this, or this might already be done and I'll have to do something else. But if it's something where you would be willing to kind of help out with me and hosting and stuff, let me know too, because it'd be nice to know if I have that help. They're not contingent on that, but it's kind of nice to have, right? That little extra bit of help. Oh, I just inhaled when I was trying to swallow. Sorry about that. Alrighty. My very last piece. I skipped in my 4-piece rotation. I skipped Fish and Chips because that is going to be my June focus for the hashtag June Dog Stitch Along. Let me write that down. June Dog, and it is Crow Stitcher, I believe, is hosting. And I want to say they put out a video a day or two ago. It's on my list. And they talked about all the pieces they're going to work on. So I cannot wait to watch, because I think there's 4 or 5 that'll be the focus for the June Dog month for, you know, for them. Me, I only have 1. So instead of my full coverage 100 stitch a day, Fish and Chips will be 100 stitch a day, and then I'll rotate my other 3 pieces in and among that each week. So instead of doing Fish and Chips, I jumped on Summer Quaker instead, and this is Lila Studio. I have summer and I have spring going, and I think summer will be finished before spring. It's farther along. Now, finish is a relative term, right? I mean, I seem to be doing mostly all the outside and leaving this inside for me, and you know this is the bottom half of this is full coverage, and I am charting out the mermaid and I think putting something else in, so there's going to be a little bit of extra work there too. Oh, it's gotten darker again. I think we're okay. Maybe it's a good thing my video will be a little faster. There it is. All right, let me just open this all the way up. I did iron, but then I had this folded underneath other stuff. There we go. Again, want to take a guess on what fabric this is? Yes, 18 count Nantucket Sky, Fabrics by Stephanie. I knew all along I wanted to do that though with this. I just love this fabric. So the one thing I am taking out is the clouds. If you see here, there's some clouds at the top. I'm going to take them out because this fabric obviously kind of has that natural wispy cloud sort of look. How does, I don't know. Michelle Bendy, how does she do it? She always has them like right by the side of her. I think they might be in like Q-snaps or something. And it's always the coolest how she holds her stuff and it looks neat. And then there's me. Nobody would ever in my life have called me cool though. So, you know, I guess it's par for the course. I am the kind of trip over your own feet, awkward, sort of artsy individual that would never in my life have ever been considered anything but a little bit awkward. Anyway, so I did this time around, oh, can I do this here? I worked on this. I almost have this done. There's little X's inside all of those. You can see I've got 1 or 2 of them stitched. That's it. That piece will be done. And I gave this 500 stitches this week, and this had already been started. So that shows you how big those elements are. But if you look at it, that means I have one more large element, and I have this one. Do I have it done? Yes, I do. Ooh, the guys are out with the lawnmowers. I hope there's no lightning. This one has got to be done, but it's a half. So it'll be, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. And then the outside will be done. I did switch, as you can see, you've got S-U-M-M, but then it's R-E. So I switched the E and the R so that you'll be looking at it and spelling the word summer down and around. Well, I haven't done the E yet. I just have the R in. That's what my eventual thing is. And I did, because I didn't do, and I'm looking at it and I need to do a little extra stitch here. My sun looks funny at the moment. There's a cloud that goes halfway into the sun, which obviously I'm not stitching. So I have one more ray of sunshine I need to do. I thought I had it all, but clearly, I think what I'm going to do, you're not gonna be able to see, but off of this ray, there's like a little offshoot. I'm gonna do maybe 3 or 4 stitches, offshoot that, and I think it'll look good. The, yeah, that's thunder. The charted sun was kind of lopsided, and I kind of wanted to make it a tad more even kind of thing. So I did add and kind of made that sun my own, for want of a better. My plan, next time this gets picked up, I probably will try to get that finished, and then I'm not sure, I might work on some more of the seaweed border here, because again, I count everything off. And I know there's a small, if I look at the piece here, up top there's a small motif and then half of a bigger one before I get into the real big piece there. But I also do like this corner, and I mean, it's not that hard. I think I have a crab next, and then the letter, and then motifs. So who knows? I think that's the long and the short of it. You kind of get that with me right now. I never really have a true set plan, but this one is definitely farther along than spring. So this was started last summer, first day of summer. Beth and I like to do stitch alongs together. Beth and I started a stitch along, hashtag summer by the shore. I know the Huga Stitcher has a hashtag for this piece as well. And if you go to the, is it cross stitch _salander on Instagram? Love that account. Both hashtags are on one post, so you can see if you wanted the information on the hashtags. But nothing here. So spring, I mean, I've changed almost all the colors, right? I do not think I've changed it. I'm basically virtually sure I haven't changed any colors on this one. I have kept it all called for. Nothing, excuse me, nothing jumped out so much, especially against this fabric. So many nice things. That's my back. So many things look really nice on this fabric. So I think, I don't think obviously I'm changing the mermaid, so I'll have to figure out what I'm doing with that. But unless there's something in the center that really needs changing, I think I'll be okay. So there we go. That's my stitching. What are my plans? Okay. Obviously, I'm going to do that last little bit of finish on Spring Blessings. And I think I would like to try to do a little stitching on May Lily of the Valley. I'm going to show you a couple pieces that I figured out fabrics for my June stitching. And I have almost gotten my I Spy prompts for June all set. So here's a question. Last month, I did the prompts for I Spy, and obviously I showed them on my Facebook group, and I put them on my community tab, because you don't have to be on Facebook to participate. And, but I also, just because sometimes people, with some of the prompts, you know, I try to tie them into different things that, you know, happen to be like days or holidays or whatever. And sometimes, you know, they're a little bit out there. And so I did that extra video and I showed you everything I picked. Was that helpful? Would that be something you'd watch on a regular basis? Or basically don't bother? Feedback on that if you know, if you feel like you want to give feedback on it. And if you liked it and would like me to continue, it was quite helpful for me, because it made me choose my pieces. And I have 2 left. So here we go. Here's my I Spy for the month of May. And the only 2 I haven't fulfilled prompts starts with the letter Y, and we've got the yellow sun for Summer at Hawk-Run Hollow, and reminds me of my mom, and that would be the Ireland stitch from Vleda X Stitch. And I am procrastinating on that one, not gonna lie, because I know I'm gonna get to the part where I have to change colors and I don't know what I'm doing. And look, I finished the Crafts and Books acrostic, and I am almost done with Magazine Monthly. And ironically, the 2 letters I haven't done are for Ireland and Hawk-Run Hollow, Shores of Hawk-Run Hollow. So I'm cool. I've got the same 2 pieces that will be worked on. It have to be this week. So you will see those probably next week as well. But I found it incredibly helpful, and I kept to it for picking them out at the beginning of the month. Whereas before, I had some ideas, but then I was picking as the month went along, and that gets a little dicey. So if you'd like the video, let me know. I'd be happy to film if it would be something. I mean, if nobody wants to watch it, then obviously I wouldn't film it. Now, the 2 things well, I have multiple things. I have more than 2 planned. Let me see. It might be in this instead. I don't know if I took a picture of, oh, you know what? I bought it quite a bit ago. And I don't know if I have it here. Darn. All right, so I'll just show you the black and white. I talked to you about how I wanted to start the uniqueness of others this June. And like I said, it'd be very cool if I had the colored version. But you know me, I just print off the black and white. Yeah, I don't have it. And I was thinking about using, I was back and forth on fabric, and I saw this, and I thought this might be fun. It's called Hello Beautiful. I have my fabrics. I wrap them on comic book board, and so it's still on that. And I use these little clips with it. So I have this piece, it's called Hello Beautiful. So that's what it looks like. And again, nowhere near as stark in person. That all blends in much better. This is actually, you know, if you can see it better in person, it's like a green. So you have a lot of the golds, and I may focus on the gold part because you've got, let me just show you some of the blues. I didn't put them, the next piece, I actually do have some, I have the things on a ring. But you can see, you know, I mean, all the different kind of blues that go with that. And so I thought that might be kind of cool. There is a couple yellows, but they're surrounded by other things, so they won't blend in. And I just thought, well, this is kind of a cool and unique sort of fabric. So it kind of goes with the whole theme. Thoughts on that? I decided I didn't want to do my traditional, light blue or light green. Yes? No? I went through my fabrics. I'm not sure what else I would do, quite frankly, but we'll see. So that, I have no idea when in June I'm starting that. I have a tendency, I don't know if you do this, but when I have things planned for the upcoming months, I really like, I front load the month with starts because I'm so excited to start them all. You know, I'll put that piece back in a minute. I'm so excited for the start that I just say, oh, I want to start them all at the very beginning of the month. And then I have nothing to start later on in the month. This is still in the plastic, but that's okay. The butterfly. So this is called Wings of Change. The butterfly is proof that you in the darkness can be transformed too. And I know I have 2 people now joining me with this, so we'll figure out a hashtag. There is already a Wings of Change hashtag. So I will think of something. But I thought, and I was going with the blue line, so I certainly could do Nantucket Sky. But I have this piece from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. It's a little bit brighter. But these are the DMCs except for the inside of the butterfly. So you can see there. What I did, these are charted, this is charted in mostly Classic Colorworks. There's a few DMCs. 1, 2, 3 DMCs. But what was suggested for inside the butterfly was really not the same kind of orange as what's in there. So I have this from Stitchy Stuff. It's called Pumpkin Spice. And I think I'm going to use that for inside the butterfly instead. And I mean, if one of these other called fors, like the different pinks, there's, you know, 3 different shades of pinks. You go kind of really light mauve, medium mauve, and deep kind of, you know what this one reminds me of? My Stampin' Up! People. Remember Razzleberry ink? That's what that reminds me of. I think those will go well, but I could always change them. But I think this would look nicely on here. The greens will go great. Again, if I had to change something, I could. So I think that's what's going to happen with that one. It'll be ironed out when I start it, kind of thing. And if I like how it looks when I start, great. If I need to change something up, then I'll do so. I really do like this fabric, so I think that will stay. And if I have to change anything, it'll be the floss. Super excited because a lot of times I don't figure out fabrics until literally the day I'm starting them. Super exciting to have those 2 already set. So I have people stitching the Wings of Change butterfly piece with me. If anybody wants to do the uniqueness of others from Yasmin. Yasmin's Made with Love, I think. Yes, I love it. Her patterns are phenomenal. I haven't stitched any yet. I'm so excited to stitch this. But if you want to join me, great. And then I am also... I did this last week. I'm not going to take the time to find it, but the, is it Dance at Midnight? The full coverage piece I'm starting. That's by Sunflower Stitches. And then there's another full coverage that may or may not get started because there's a new charter out here and I'm going to talk about her next week. So there's somebody new charting full coverages and they're phenomenal. So I'm already tempted on all the ones she's already released. Okay, that's pseudo plans, right? For Happy Mail, I had a stitchy friend who she sent me her trading cards for the swap. Remember, June 1st-ish. If you've got your artist trading cards, send them to me. If you need my address, just reach out. And I mean, obviously, if you're stuck by a couple days or whatever, just let me know and I'll know to be on the lookout for it. Things have come in really nicely. Knock on wood. Post office has, what's wood? This is wood over here. Post office has kept them looking good, the envelopes. So everything's good with that. But anyway, she had reached out and she said, well, I have these pieces of linen. Would you want to use them for giveaways? I said, of course, because I know there's quite a few of you who like to use linen. It's funny because when I got them, I said, oh, would I consider trying them myself? And then I looked and I'm like, nope. Nope, that would not bring me joy. So we have, are they all 30 count? 30, 30, 32, 32. Yes, so mostly 32 count with a couple of 30s. These will be in future giveaways. Thank you so much for sharing these. I know that so many people are going to enjoy them and get great use out of them. And what I might do, for example, these two are 2 pieces of a 32. So I might do 2 in the one giveaway kind of thing. So you'd get a couple pieces. I have 2 sets of that combo, so we'll see. And then these I might pair with something else kind of thing. I don't know. So thank you so much for that. It really helps. I don't mind. When I shop for me, I always shop for all of you as well. But having you send me some stuff for giveaways is just, it's really lovely of you, and I do appreciate you doing that. Okay, what did I buy? Not much. Nope, not much. Can we tell that to Mo? You know, I'm stitching the Celtic Dragon by 2x2 stitch art. You know, I'm stitching that with the idea of 4th wing in mind. I have a whole plan. This will be a 5-year plan, but I have a plan. And so if you're still with me 5 years from now and everything is finished and done, I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm not saying a word until I can figure it out. But this one, I don't know what this is called. It's another one of the dragons by 2x2 stitch art. And she was having a ridiculous sale. So I said, you know what? I'm going to pick this one up. It's slightly more rectangular than the Celtic Dragon is a square. They're both the same height. Celtic Dragon would be a little bit wider because this is more of a rectangle. I picked that up. I have not picked up yet. This is from Owl Forest Embroidery. I don't remember the name of it. If you want to see it starting to be stitched, Beth Steadfast Stitcher is stitching it, and it looks fantastic. Now, I think the whole piece is beautiful, and maybe in the future, but I would like to take the dragon out and stitch that smaller dragon as a singular piece. So I was waiting to see for Memorial Day. You know how sometimes for holidays, Etsy will do, they provide so that the sellers don't have to do the sales. They provide like $5 off of your order over such and such. So I have a whole list in my wish list. So I'm going to wait and see if Etsy kind of ponies up and gives a little bit of a sale so that our sellers on Etsy can get all the money. So that's on my list too. I know, I think Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month. It's supposed to stitch, she said it was supposed to send out this week. I still haven't gotten a shipping notice, so I'm probably like the last day, which is I think tomorrow. I always seem to be the last day. I don't know how it works out that way, but I'm always, I don't know if she does it closer and then farther or what, but that probably won't be here. I don't even know if that'll be here then before next video, because obviously with the holiday weekend, there'll be a day of no mail. So that's coming, and I think that's it. There are a few other things, like I said, I'm keeping my eye on with Etsy, so we will see. We'll see what happens, whether or not anything else gets purchased before then. But I think except for the Fabric of the Month, I don't think I have anything I'm waiting on. So there you go. Okay, that's the shopping. Giveaways. I am basically, I said to Mo, I have to do some shipping for something else. So I'm hoping to get all of the past giveaways that are here. I'm looking right at them. Everybody's all lined up. I'm hoping to do a big trip to the post office and have all of these things. So if you're waiting on a giveaway, I have it all organized. It's not in a safe place, so I know where it is, and it'll be coming shortly. But this week, Stitchy Stuff, she was very generous, and she provided, I'm going to do it on the back of my little challenge journal. She provided a hank of Elysian Ocean cotton floss for the giveaway this week. So thank you so much, Stitchy Stuff. And I asked you to say the word ocean, and we had lots of comments. I think it was like 142, and I don't blame you. I think this is beautiful. And I was a little worried about my writing after last week being clear. So instead of writing it, I took a picture of it. Julianne Carmen 1524. Congratulations, Julianne. If you could get back to me, I'm going to hold that up with your address. I will get that in the pile of stuff to ship out. Thank you. Now, this week I went through and I was looking through to see, you know, thinking summer, thinking 4th of July, thinking that kind of stuff. So this one, my international people, and you know I don't mind sending international, but unless you're from the US living internationally, this one's going to mean nothing to you. So I apologize, but you know, I've got these pieces. I'm going to do them, and you know, you're always welcome with giveaways. But this one's called Spirit of America, and it is Blackberry Lane Designs. And obviously it's July 4th is and it's got a 1776, and I think it's charted with DMCs, but it also calls for, and they're not included, it's just the pattern. It calls for Mill Hill beads, petites, and some, you know, the buttons if you can get them. I mean, again, all of that's not 100% necessary. My Nora Corbett, I did sparkly floss instead of beads, because that's going in the scrapbook. So you can work with what you have. But if you say the word spirit, S-P-I-R-I-T, I will choose a winner. Please be at least 18. Please don't say giveaway or free. And I would super appreciate it if you are a subscriber. So that's it. So that's the giveaway for coming up next week. Alrighty. If you are here just for stitching, I hope you have a fantastic day, weekend, week, and I will see you next time. Alrighty. I'm going to put that in there too. What's going on? I was by myself again a good portion of last week, but now I think Mo's travel, knock on wood again, is done, and he is staying put. Monday, Connor and Mo drove up to first Connecticut. Connor's still in Connecticut. They're at my in-laws. I don't know when they're going up to Worcester. It might be today, it might be tomorrow. But I really like that Connor's getting a chance to spend time with my in-laws. I think my in-laws really enjoy it as well. So it's nice to have that intergenerational type of contact. But they drove up. Obviously, Connor is doing summer job, or not obviously if you haven't been here before, but Connor goes to school in Worcester and found a summer position up there in Worcester. So luckily the college does allow, you know, obviously we have to pay for it, but it's so much easier to be able to do that because you're not going to find housing for 3 months in a city, right? So Connor can stay, I think, a couple more weeks where they've been living all year this year in college, and then there's specific summer dorm housing, so they'll have to move sometime in beginning of June, but whatever. And then they can stay there until the move into wherever they'll be for the fall semester next year, senior year. Can you believe it? So they had to go back. Mo and Connor had to go up for that. Mo had to go up for work. So it actually worked out well because Mo also had to go up. Mo works remotely, but the main offices are in Connecticut, and at about quarterly, they want him up there for a stretch of time. So Mo went up. This was the week, and so we were able to combine two things at once, and Mo went into the office and worked a portion of the week as well. Came back yesterday. Oh, I felt so bad. It was an awful drive, apparently. On a good day, you might be able to do Connecticut to southern Delaware in, well, no traffic at all. You might be able to do 5 hours, usually between 5 and 5.5. And I want to say this trip was 7. He was exhausted, and then he had to do some work when he got home here. So it was a long day for him. But he's back, and I don't think he has to go now anywhere. Yay! So it's funny because I like one day by myself, you know what I mean? And you just like, the house is super quiet, and you know, you can do what you want, but then you start to get kind of lonely after a while. And so by the time it's time for Mo to come back from the travels, I'm ready. And then, you know, next time he goes, I'm ready for him to go again for a little bit. You know how that works. And it's funny because I don't get as much stitching in. I mean, you'd think I'm by myself, right? I can stitch to my heart's content. I never cook as much because it's only me, so my meals are much smaller. Now that I've discovered air frying tofu, my life has been changed when I'm by myself. It's so much easier. So, you know, you'd think, but no, my stitching is actually less on weeks when I'm by myself. I think sometimes I have too much time. I don't know how to organize it properly. I remember when the kids would go back to school, you know, they'd be here all summer when they were in, you know, whatever grade, elementary through high. And, you know, there's people in the house and there's things going on and so on. The first couple weeks of school were my least efficient weeks ever because I had to transition from whatever was all going on in the summer to now I have the house and nobody's here. And I was, at least for a week, completely out of any sort of routine. So that's kind of me when Mo goes away, is I don't know what I'm doing with myself. But this weekend is going to be super quiet, which I think he really is happy about, because Mo had to go up to Connecticut twice, plus had a colonoscopy this month. So this month has been just go, go, go. And at this point now, having a nice quiet 3.5 day weekend is going to be just perfect and get a reset as we go into summer. So I think I'll be stitching. Hopefully maybe I can jump on a Zoom or two, depending on what's going on. Right now it's raining, so we'll see what the weather, you know, every weekend it's been raining. On a given Tuesday and Wednesday, it's nice and the sun's out. Then you come on the weekend and it's cold and raining. It's funny because it's raining, but I do see in the distance some blue sky. So clearly I have a rain cloud right over my house. So maybe this weekend, fingers crossed, will be a little bit nicer. And traffic's picking up. I live in a beach town, so I will be staying away from the beach more now because the crowds will descend Memorial Day through, well, July 4th. That July is just the craziest, but from here on out, it's obviously going to pick up. So we will be picking and choosing when we go to the beach. It's usually first thing in the morning or like 5 o'clock in the evening. And I like that anyway, because I don't like the full sun beating on me. Anyway, so, but yeah, I hope you have some fun plans. I think we're going to do a cookout for the two of us, and just maybe make some fun stuff. I haven't figured that out yet. It's only Friday morning. No, I don't plan far enough in advance, but I have the idea, and then we just have to make it work. But yeah, just have a fun weekend, the two of us, and just kind of hang out. And I'm pretty sure Mo's playing pickleball tomorrow, weather permitting. So maybe I'll pull out the Aston Villa piece. I haven't pulled that out, and I have to get that done by September. That's my next deadline. So maybe you'll see that next week. Look at that. I've already got almost all of my projects for next week planned. But that's it. Yeah. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I don't know if the germs are still going around. I've done a few things here or there, but not a lot. So I haven't had a lot of people contact. But I hope it's all well with you. And if you do have a holiday weekend this weekend, I hope it is lovely and you get a chance to, whether it's to just extra stitching, or you get to see people you don't normally see, or just get to sleep late or sleep in, or just give you that extra kind of self-care time. You know that you are important. You matter. Not just May, when it's Mental Health May, but every single day of the year. So please, please, please take care of yourself and do something for yourself, just for you, each and every day. That will definitely make you feel better. All right, until next time, happy stitching.